Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something different. It's a story time, okay, about my ex from hell. Yes, ex from hell. Can't even say the word because it just hurts so much to say that word. Like H-E double hockey sticks, I think it's better, yeah. So, okay, going back 11 years ago, I was, if you're working out my age now, I'm sure. I was 19. Yes, I was 19 and I was enrolling in college. It was the day that I was enrolling in college. After I enrolled, I decided to go back. No, instead of going back home, I decided to go to, which we call the centre. I had seen this guy around my area. Let's call him Dexter actually. Yeah, we'll give him a code name. Dexter. I'd seen Dexter around and I thought, he's kind of nice, kind of tall. I'd seen him around. I'd just been shopping sometimes and I would see this person and thought, oh, I wonder what his name is. Anyways, cut a long story short, because we'll be here all day. He asked for my number. So he asked for my number. We started talking, started texting, and we agreed on a date to meet up. Went to the city. Yeah, went to the city and had a date. If I remember rightly, we went to KFC. Yeah, and I paid. Can you believe that? I paid. I was young anyways. Young and dumb. Stupid. In fact, actually I was 18. The reason why I'm just remembering I was 18 because I turned 19 after the fact. Yes, I was 18. Anyways, we went on this date. And looking back now, I think to myself, I actually wanted to kind of run away. But I can't believe I'm even saying this. I wanted to run away, but anyways, the date went well, and I think a week later we went out for a week. Something really bad happened and, well, my mum didn't like him. It was all over, game over. It was over basically, and that was it. That was that. It was done. Don't want to get into that detail, but basically it was over, and as soon as it was over, this person went with somebody new, and I found out obviously like straight away. They were just on to the next basically. Okay, so I'm gonna meet up with some friends up at the centre. So I don't know, there was something in the air that said to me, don't go up to the centre, please don't go up to the centre, Lavina. I'm sure God was speaking to me, for real. The clouds were looking dark. It was a sunny day, but for some reason when I went out to that bus stop, and that bus stop was like, it was being redone, so they took away the bus stop, so there was just a little signage, so I had to stand there, no closure, no cover, nothing. Next thing you know, clouds open up, storm, rain, wind, in the space of something like 10 minutes while I'm waiting for the bus. Bearing in mind that I just remembered myself that I'd just missed a bus. So can you imagine, I just missed a bus, I've come down and I had to wait, and then I'm getting rained on, and it was like everything was saying to me, don't go to the centre. Go to the centre now. And we've got, what have we got? We have 3 parts where the bus driver can stop. Now the first stop was supposed to be my stop. That's where the actual bus is supposed to stop. No, this bus driver doesn't stop there. He stops at the second one. And who was there? Dexter and his new girlfriend. What are the odds? Seriously, killed my whole mood. I didn't even want to be up the centre. I just wanted to I should have just got off that bus, went around again to the next side, and picked up a next bus and just went home. Because my experience, I didn't even meet up with someone, the person that I was supposed to meet up. I just went, I don't know what mode I went into, but I didn't even want to shop. I didn't even want to do anything. I think I was even up there for a good half an hour, 20 minutes. So, okay, I'm going to Subway. Now, Subway was fairly new at the time to the area. So I went to Subway and bought my little Subway, came out with my little sandwich, and as I come out, there was Dexter with his new girlfriend. Oh yes, new girlfriend, and was crossing the road. I'm certain he knew that I was there on the other side of the road, and he crossed the road just so he can be like, oh hi Lavina. And I was just like, okay. Anyways, I was going home with my sandwich and decided to eat my sandwich. As I was not on my way, like halfway there, but I was on my way home anyways. I wasn't that far up the road. I realised that my sandwich was cold. My sandwich was cold, so I had to come back now to Subway. And that was all I thought to myself is, I'm going to have to see him, blah blah blah. And I thought, no, he can't possibly be in Subway. He was in Subway. Okay, I had to walk past, not just walk past him, I had to walk past him and his new broad and his friends, and then have to explain to this man, oh, my sandwich is cold. Anyway, they heated it up. They gave me a ticket now, like a voucher for, well, they called it coupon, whatever it was a voucher anyways. And the voucher enabled me to get a free sandwich. So I was like, well, this will make my day, you know. This is the cherry on the top of the cherry on top of a bad day. So, okay, got my sandwich, went out, had to walk past them again on the way out. Went all the way home, thought, oh, okay, let me heat up this sandwich. I think I had to heat it up because I just didn't feel to eat it after that, you know. Looking through my purse, no voucher. Looking through my bag, no voucher. Wonderful, wonderful. So not only did I have to come back and walk past him and his girl and his friend, but no voucher for me to go and experience Subway in a fun, happy way. Oh gosh, it was just the worst day ever. Anyways, moving on from that, the next time I see him, because at the time I had a little part-time job as well as going to college, and I was going into town and I saw him again with his new broad, and he was wearing some ridiculous shorts. I was thinking to myself, why? You would never be dressed like that if you were with me, but whatever. Anyways, Dexter, a couple of times I'd seen this Dexter around town, and it was not nice because it's almost like I felt as if every time I went out, if I went to town, if I went to city, it would be this person in my face, you know what I mean? So there was one time I had a driving lesson, and the driving lesson, I asked the driving instructor to meet me at the station, and this is where all the buses pass by and the taxis and whatever. So basically I was walking up and I remember he was parked alongside the road. So I'm walking up now. Of all the places for me to fixate my eyes on, I'm looking up, and next thing I know, I see Dexter and his girl on this bus. It was some old bus, because the thing is, we have new buses in the place where I live, and he was sitting on some old rickety bus, and the bus had a seat that faced outwards. So him and this girl, I swear he went to the back of the bus on purpose so that I could see him, sat at the back of the bus in a seat and looked out, and he was sitting there, and I could see him. He's dark, by the way, and then he's there with his arm around this girl, and I'm thinking to myself, can my life just get any worse? Saying that, going back to that, I had left the job in town, got a job up the city, so most likely to see this person even more, but I needed more money. I need to get some more paper. I had worked at this job, and this job was, I loved it. I loved it. It was retail. I loved it. River Island, okay? Everybody in UK knows that that's a good place to work. Well, if you're in the 20s. So I get a job there. I'm working at this place, and Dexter goes and gets, I don't know if he had a job there, job up the city before, or had got this. Okay, he worked over at the Nando's, which was a good, well, I don't walk fast, so a good 10 minutes up the road. The girlfriend now, she worked over at Topshop. Now Topshop, where Topshop was, it was in like a new part. They call it the new part. Well, at that time it was the new part. We still call it the new part if we're in wherever I live. Anyways, he had no business walking past my shop to get to wherever his girlfriend, we call her, what we call her, Jojo, works, and his workplace was over there. Every day about 5:30 he will come past my shop every day. And there was this one time I was working, in fact no, this is when my driving instructor now dropped me off, and I saw him at the bus stop. I saw him at the station, and he was on the bus now. That was the day that I just had enough, because he kept coming past my shop now, and obviously I got upset. By this time I got upset. So when I come into work now, my manager must just said to me, "Oh, how are you today?" And me and this girl had a bad day as well at the same time. She had something going on. We just looked at each other, we just burst into tears. We just burst into tears because it was just the saddest. It was sad for me because I'd had enough, basically. I'd had enough. It was kind of like a, oh, I'm going to get to you, me and this girl, I'm going to push it in your face. There was other things, because even when I worked at the place in town, him and this girl basically be like, oh, well, they go to college, so I can't be going to the town at this time, at that time. I just want to avoid him. When I worked at the place where I was working at, because it's not there anymore, and even now I think about all the things that I went through in that day. In fact, Blockbusters, I can say it, because they're not even a company anymore. They're gone. When I worked at the Blockbusters, they used to have these little boxes that you put out behind the actual case. Well, it hasn't got anything inside of it. Behind the case that they'd have displayed. And I used to stack these white boxes on top of each other, so big and so far. And even my assistant manager used to be like, oh, you can come back, you know. You know why I used to pack it up? Because I used to go to the furthest end of the shop and cry because of this boy who was getting to me so much. And that was back then, you know. That was back then when I was at the town working. And when I worked at the city, I was crying again because the same person, really. Anyways, I had had enough. So they moved me off of where I was working, because I was working on the front, because they tried to get me out myself. They tried to get my confidence up so I could greet the customers. That's why I was at the front. That's why he used to walk past every day, because he could see me, because he knew I was there. Anyways, they moved me to round the side where the fitting rooms was. Okay, cool. I love that. So one day I was with this other guy, and I was replenishing stock, they call it. Sorting through clothes, tidying it up. Anyways, so I'm tidying up, I'm sorting through the clothes, and there he was, Dexter. So I'm there pretending like, oh, I'm not paying him no mind, and I'm there talking to this boy, and you know, whatever, just enjoying myself at work. Now, the way that the shop is set out, it's got this divider. So you got the clothes on one side, the clothes on the other side. I cannot believe this. This guy, I'm on the other side tidying up the other side tidying up. So he comes past me, walks past me with his girlfriend so that I can see him. And I'm just like, so I'm chewing gum. Really? anyways, I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna do that, are we? Ain't seen me for a while, realised that I still work here, wanna get on my nerves. So I just pretended to play, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna carry on with my work. As I'm standing there talking to this person on the other side, when I went over to do whatever I was doing on the other side, I'm tidying through the clothes. The guy's gone over to where was it, the jewellery part, and then he's told his girlfriend to stop and wait at the end of the rail. And then as I've turned around to fix the clothes in front of me, he's come back around again, walked past me so that I can see him. I'm like, I almost was like, you know what, I can see you, you know. I mean, if you're so happy in your relationship, why are you in my face? Why are you in my face? Anyways, you know, listen, any black girl, any girl that has that happening, you know that it's war for that girl. Because think about it, if he's doing that to me, what's he gonna do to you? Anyways, I'm like just talking about it still, and it was like 10 years ago. Seriously? So at that particular time I had moved because it got to me so much, and my mum had got a new job, and I decided, I decided that I wanted to move because I just had enough. I really just had enough. I moved, but I feel like I'm gonna cry. I moved to a whole new city. I wanted to go to uni. Now that's a different story that I'm about to tell you about. So I moved out of my town, and then I decided I wanted to move the job. Now they couldn't for some reason get me the transfer. I had to go for a next interview to get a transfer to the town that I had moved to, and I didn't get it. So I still had to travel back to the place to see the boy. So that was partly the reason as well why I broke down in the the manager's office that day, because I was just like, I'm supposed to be moving. Oh, I had moved, and I can't move the job, so I had to keep coming back to the same place and seeing this guy. So I'm just like, my life, what is life? What is life? At this time, well, I was young, I didn't drive, okay? Didn't know that. I didn't drive, by the way. So I had to get 2 buses. I had to get a bus, in fact no, I had to get a bus to the bus stop, get a next bus to the centre. Yeah, 2 buses. Yeah, 2 buses. I was right. So when I had to get home, I finished at like 5:30. I had to run. So no girl could be late, because we had like at the time I had a job share. So if the girl was late, then I was late home. So one time I was waiting for this bus and my bus stop was far up the road. This guy is with his chick, and for no reason at all, he's there about yelling, shouting in the street. People are looking, you know. I look down the street and Mans is there with his hand in the air waving and holding his girlfriend's hand as if to say, oh, we're still together. I'm just like, are you serious? I need to get a job out of this city and get away from this goon. I'm just thinking about it now, I'm just getting vexed. Anyways, so eventually I got a job in the town that I moved to, and yeah, I got a job in the town that I moved to, and I was happy. Yes. And then eventually I went to university. I wasn't going to go to university in that town. So I wasn't going to go to university in that town, but because he had carried on the way he did towards me, it pushed me into my destiny. I know it did, because I didn't want to go to that particular town. I went to go to a different town and go to university. So I I was blessed basically, because not only did I pass and get a degree, but God is good anyways. So when I went to this university, I met a friend that I know, and we were talking at the bus station at the time, and she said to me, oh, Dexter has moved here. I'm like, bruh, are you serious? wait a minute, Lords. He's moved to the same city, town, okay, we're just gonna call it city, yeah? He's moved to the same place as me. He don't have no family there, hardly any friends, and I'm just like, is Lucifer really? Because I know that's the devil, because everywhere I go you're there, and then I move away. Cut a long story short, gosh, I must have, about 3 times I've said that. He moves back anyways, and the proof that I never got to see him, thank God, and the proof that I got really that he moved to that city was because of the fact that the girlfriend, he must have posted, now that's another thing, I got on Facebook and I must have added him to Facebook. I added him to Facebook at that particular time because I was like, you know what, I'm over it, I forgive you, blah blah blah. So him and this girl were together, and then I actually saw the girl in the place where I lived at the time. So that was my proof that he actually had moved and had got with this girl. Anyway, he's not there anymore. He's not even here anymore, because I moved back to the place where I lost my joy. The moral of the story is, I was pushed into my destiny. If I wasn't aggravated, so to speak, if he didn't do all of that, I wouldn't have gone to this university, because I thought this town was dry. I was like, I'm going to Luton, I've got a bumper sticker for Luton. And looking back, I think to myself, yeah, okay. But I didn't appreciate it at the time. It was horrible. You know, everywhere I went, he was there. You know, how are you going to move to a whole new city? I'm going to call it a city because, you know, it sounds good. How can you move to a whole new city and then the person follows you? Really? For me, it was just a traumatic experience. You know, and Subway, I did get reimbursed. You know, I got a few vouchers for free, but you know, I will never forget that cold sandwich. I won't. And now, when I go to Subway, you better heat up that sandwich, what is it, the little beef, before you put it in again, because I don't want to have that again. I don't. No, I'm good. But thank you for listening to my story. I didn't think it was going to be that dramatic. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed that. Stay blessed. Bye.